kid!
Yeah?
Are you looking for something exciting to read while you enjoy some sugary cereal?
Yeah!
Then grab a copy of Mighty Mascots from Alterna Comics! Born from the ashes of a disastrous 3D printing accident, 8 living advertisements have banded together to right the wrongs of this world, led by a former child star. These unlikely heroes are freaks to some, but you will know them as the Mighty Mascots. The miniseries is 3 issues full color and printed on glorious newsprint. This is the fun superhero series that you didn't know you needed. Created and written by Keith Gleason, featuring artwork by Ian Morianto and colors by Anton Bondi.
Ahoy, I can't wait for more!
Mighty Mascots is part of your complete breakfast and comic book reading experience. Only from Alterna Comics.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the birds don't find you first. Where the fastest races are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
Hey, everybody. This is Keith Gleason from Indie Comics Relay, and I'm here tonight with my good friend, as always, Johnny C. What's up, buddy?
What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, so you know what that means.
I know. Well, it seems like it's been every Wednesday for the last month now. I mean, it's great for us in the show. I'm glad it's people are finding it. We're in demand, it's great feeling,
I love the trailers that we're using.
Dude, tonight it's like going to the movies or something,
I know. We can't go. Some people can't make it out to the theaters, but we can give a little bit of the theater atmosphere with comics here.
Yeah, right.
I love that Star Circuit trailer. And,
oh my God, Joe, and even Randall's trailer was excellent.
Randall's trailer is amazing too.
So yes, well, speaking of Joe, we were supposed to have him on the show Friday, but there was some booking issues. So
this coming Friday.
Yeah. So
as a bonus episode.
As another bonus episode, but we decided to bring Joe in as a co-host tonight so that we could, promote Star Circuit and also talk to Joe. Because speaking of which, hey Joe. Nice to see you tonight, man.
Good to see you guys, man. It's my favorite place to come, really. It really is one of my favorite streams, so I'm glad.
Awesome! That's great to hear. And Joe,
thanks for coming back. And congratulations, dude. The campaign, killing it.
Yeah, doing really well.
Yeah,
and one other thing I wanted to say though, before we get into everything, you're a first for our show. You're the first person that's been on, I think, 3 times now, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
It's he's a three-fer.
Nice.
What is that thing on Saturday Night Live when
5 times you got a jacket?
Yeah. You're
we don't have the budget for a jacket, but maybe we'll send you a patch or a sticker or something.
I'll take it. If it has one of those little radios on it,
yeah, right.
That's not that bad of an idea.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little incentive, and I love all your guys' books. You said our trailers are good. Your trailers look really good too. So
thank you.
I'm glad.
Man. Appreciate that,
dude. Star Circuit gets me pumped every time I see that trailer. I can't wait to be reading that book.
Oh, dude, I mean, I'm working on some other stuff we'll talk about later, but yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
we definitely want to get into it. Let's bring our guest in, and then we'll get into a whole like battle royale of comics here. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And
all right,
I'm glad to see the stretch goals are being unlocked as well, Joe, for Star Circuit.
Awesome.
So it's not too late to donate on that one. There's still plenty of awesome prizes yet to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so without further ado, tonight's guest, Randall Rozzell. Randall, how's it going? Randall, do you prefer Randall or Randy?
Randall,
okay.
Yeah.
Great. I just wanted to ask because my father's name is Randall, but my mother calls him Randy, so I don't know.
No, that's fine. It's always been Randall. That's what I prefer. Yeah, no, that's fine. I appreciate you guys having me on.
It's a very comic book
name
too.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like a Stan Lee type name.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned it. My initials are RRR, which I hated my whole life. It annoyed me, but it's actually become a good use for a logo and for different names.
So what's the middle name, if you don't mind us asking?
Ray.
Randall Ray Rozzell. I like that.
I love that. You can't buy a name that awesome.
Yeah,
Rozzell.
So I'm great. So I'm triple R. Yeah,
that's awesome. Nice. It's almost like a pen name,
Yeah, exactly.
Ways, But your comic came to me. I think you sent it to me. What, 3 months ago?
Yeah, it might have been a little longer, but yeah, I sent you a PDF of issue 1. I was looking because I had finished the Kickstarter, did the Kickstarter in 2019, and COVID really, obviously slowed things down, and we didn't hit our goal of sending out to people when we wanted, because my artist Silvio had a difficult 2020. So once we got it printed and got it out to people in like August, September, I wanted to get some reviews, get some eyes on it. So I sent it to you, and I think it really helped a lot. I really appreciate it.
That's great. I'm glad to hear. I meant every word I said in the review. I was really impressed with the book. I'm shocked that that's your first comic, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I've been, writing for a long time, but I've been working on Whitaker Knox probably for 10 years.
Really? It shows. I mean, it
does show.
Meticulously crafted, which is great. And I love that. That's amazing that you worked on it for 10 years. So let's get into your origins a little bit. Like, how did you what put you on the path to want to do comics? Is it what comic inspired you? Was it like a movie, a comic show?
Yeah, I mean, it shows my age a little bit, but Saturday morning cartoons probably is where it all started. I loved the old Dungeons and Dragons, Saturday morning cartoon, Super Friends, of course, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That was my thing to look forward to every Saturday. I sat and watched with my sister, and it was just, amazing. So that, that just, starts kind of the wheels turning on what just, cool super teams and things like that.
Yeah, right.
And then
did that bring you to the comic store? Like after that?
The first time I think I hit a spinner rack was by luck. I was in either a bookstore with my mom or somewhere. This is back in the 80s. Yeah. And I remember, spinning through the rack, and what grabbed my attention was, I think it was X Factor 24, Archangel's first appearance. He was Death, for Apocalypse. The cover grabbed me, and from there on, I've been an X-Men hardcore fan. In and out over the years, but through Claremont's era was amazing. That's where definitely got started with the love of comics, and just expanded from there. But I'm a Marvel guy more than a DC guy, but I respect all of it for sure.
Awesome. And then Whitaker Knoxx seems to be inspired by horror stuff and occult and things like that. So are you into that as well?
Yeah, definitely into that. I mean, I love reading the superhero books, but my attention definitely sways towards horror, suspense, mystery. Whitaker Knoxx, the first issue is definitely horror centric, but issue 2 is going to, by the end of issue 2, it's really going to take it in a kind of a sci-fi turn.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I'm trying to, like I said, it's been 10 years, but I'm trying to encapsulate a lot of things that I like in the story. It's, the detective story, the horror, the mystery kind of, kind of a circular situation. He finds his own dead body, but is it from the future, et cetera? So there's going to be some time issues in issue 2, and
it was a good hook like that. When I got to that part, I was like, oh wow, okay, I like this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that was what I was
definitely.
hoping.
Yeah. It and the artwork. I don't know if you guys got this from.
Gorgeous.
It reminded me of like Ben Templesmith, like the old 30 Days a Night covers and like the interiors. A lot of it reminded me of that, and
it's funny
stuff IDW was doing when they first started. What's that?
I was going to say, it's funny you mention that. When I first started looking for artists, I was on DeviantArt, different places, just, thinking I would love to do this book. Can I find an artist that will work with me? I'm unknown. And I found Silvio. I was looking for, I kind of had an idea of Ben Templesmith in my head.
Oh, that's funny.
I found Silvio and, loved his work. And I reached out, and he didn't even read the book yet. He said, sure, let's take a shot at it. And he was working on The Locksmith and some other independent books at the time. Cool. I sent him the script and he loved it. And, we're in the middle of issue 2, and he's excited he's just as excited about it as I am. So it's good.
Yeah, I wanted to show some of this artwork. It's really great. And that's the cover for number 1. And just some of the interiors. I mean, just really good. Well done.
Yeah, beautiful artwork. I love that he's wearing a Rage Against the Machine shirt. That was like one of my favorite little things, because it kind of grounds it a little bit more to reality, right?
Yeah, I told him
that was cool.
I told Silvio I just put a band shirt on him. In my head it was Metallica, but I didn't give him an actual band. And I thought Rage Against the Machine actually worked perfectly, because that's kind of what Knox is going to be doing. He's
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
It matches the tone of the character very much so. I got I definitely, kind of obvious, but I got the glares of Constantine. I was like, this is America's Constantine that we never knew we needed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, was the detective based on any particular detectives that we might know, or did you channel your own thing?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't really want to do a detective story. That when I first started this 10 years ago, it was like an Indiana Jones type tale.
Interesting.
And it really evolved and went to a sci-fi opera, and I hit a lot of different, kind of story areas that just never kind of felt right for me. And then I, went to detective, and I was apprehensive because there's so many detective stories out there. I didn't want to copy anybody. I didn't want it to be, overlooked because it's a detective story, but it just worked.
He's got a little bit of that. He's got a little bit of that Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Dean Winchester swagger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of that flair, and it runs, and you even it in the character, like you've written it very well, so it shows.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it felt very natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it comes through in his dialogue. It's not, you know what I mean? It comes through in detail. It's not really like hit you over the head with it,
For me, I was hesitant a little bit because I'm not a horror guy. So any of these books, I forget what I read. Outcast, that was an Image book, right?
Yeah.
And that's about as much as I get into horror. That's not even very deep, But dude, you're writing this book so well.
Thank you.
I was really surprised that I read about half of it, so it was enough for me to want to read the rest later. But dude, it's something that you captured the humanity of a lot of the characters real well.
This is one of my favorite pages too. I love the contrast here. Artwork, gorgeous. Even her smile and the positive side, it almost feels like something's not right, you know, which I love. And it's so perfectly symmetrical to all the dark shit happening on the other side of the page. I love it.
Yeah, it really is. It's like good contrast.
Yeah, Silvio's amazing. He's amazing. Like I was saying, I did a Facebook Live a few days ago, and I pointed out that, through all of this, he hardly has questions. Like there's a scene that I don't know if Joe's gotten to it, the kind of the murder scene, the crime scene is very, it's not a normal crime scene. It's very unique and from my strange brain. And the only thing he asked about was the lights in the back of the room. He didn't ask, well, what do you mean by this or that? He just knocked it out.
That's awesome.
That's cool. It's cool.
Do you give him I was gonna say, do you give them very detailed scripts? Is that why?
Yeah, for that scene specifically, it's something that my niece and my sister love. As they read the script and they were amazed by what comes out of my head. But yeah, I described it, melted this and missing hands and several, heads, and I called it a human ball of flesh. And I really tried to describe it, and he took it and ran with it.
Yeah, I love it. It's really well done, and like even the lettering's good. Did you who did the lettering for you?
I did the lettering. Yeah.
Oh, you did the lettering. Yeah, it's really good. Like
thank you.
I pick on that a lot, and when I do reviews, is because I letter my own book, so I'm very hypersensitive to that stuff.
Yeah, I saw that in one of your other interviews that you did your own lettering, and I did it. It's strange. I've seen people online complain about it, saying that they hate when writers do their own lettering because they feel like they're trying to be part of the art. I did it because I come from a design background. I have a graphic design background, and I can use Illustrator, and I can handle it.
I think just the opposite. I think if you're the writer and you do your own lettering, it's a chance to fix things. Like sometimes, like your dialogue from when you wrote the script to when you're actually producing the lettering is could be 6 months,
Right.
And then when you look at it again, you're like, oh, I don't really like this dialogue here, know. And I find that as a chance to fix it. And also sometimes an artist comes back with, probably not in this case, but like I'll get a piece of art back sometimes where it's not exactly what I wanted in the script. But then sometimes you just change a line or two and you can save that whole page. So I just think the opposite. I think if you are a writer, you should learn lettering,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say real quick, even that as a skill set and being a self-published creator, the more you can do independently, the more you're actually saving the customer in the long run and your own expenses. Right. If you had to hire a letterer, now, mind you, I also fully subscribe to the camp that, it's nice to bring a lot of people onto a book. It's nice to fill the credits with lots of different names and, kind of that's good for networking and such. Right. But also, the more you can do independently, the more you save in production costs, and then you can pass that right back on to the reader.
Very true.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
definitely.
I agree. But I definitely agree with your point as well, Keith. When Sylvia started sending me pages and I was laying it out and putting in the word balloons and the lettering, I was like, this sounds horrible now that I have it on the page. So I was constantly rewriting, should he make this sound, or that phrase doesn't sound like it would be, I'm saying this stuff out loud. Does it sound real? Does it sound realistic? And I rewrote several pages. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And if you're not your own letterer, it's hard to do that because you don't want to, because most letterers get maybe $10 a page, and like they just want to do the page once,
Right. Oh yeah.
And when you hand them like a whole, like I need to change everything, it's just like,
Yeah, I'm in a unique position because I had a little bit of both worlds because this is my first book I wrote, and also I lettered the whole book but didn't use it. So I lettered it and I was like, I like it, but I want to see what someone else would bring. And so I have a few pages done with someone else doing it, and some things they get better, some things they get worse. It's a trade-off, but I think just overall I'd rather take one less hat off of because I'm also the artist and the colorist. So I'm like, it's just too much. And now with the campaign, it's just I'm too many hats.
Take a look at some of the pages.
Joe, real quick. So is there a mix of lettering now on Star Circuit, or is
No. I'm getting him to do the whole book. It's just I started with myself trying it first.
Gotcha.
This is awesome, Joe. That's
Kanan White. That's the only piece of art that's not mine on the page. But
wow, I've heard of Kanan, but I don't think I've ever seen his artwork. And that's incredible. Looks really good.
He's really good. It's all digital and it really works for sci-fi, especially. But he gets the organic nature of everything.
Is any of the pages lettered here? Or no?
You have to go to my website and you can see the lettering.
Oh, okay. What is it again?
It's just starcircuitcomic.com. And you can see, and this one's actually, these will not be my letters, but this is Eric Weathers' letters, who letters a lot of the books.
I know Eric.
So he did a great job, but some of it I think Star Circuit comic.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody bought out. You know, they have those guys out there looking for people, and they fish. You know, the websites that people actually are wanting. You know.
Oh yeah, of course. They see some.
Yeah, just click the next button below the cover. It's a little elusive. Close that out and then go right below the cover. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is this your?
So this
lettering?
is Eric Weathers.
Oh, this is Eric. Okay.
This is Eric Weathers. And he, I think some of the things he does later on in the other pages are calls that I don't necessarily
I like this.
made. Yeah, he did a good job there. I made him put him behind the clouds. So they kind of.
I've been doing that a lot too with my lettering lately. Like, I like that look because I've noticed that Marvel and DC are doing that a little bit. Like, because when I'm reading a book, I kind of look at the lettering and see what other people are doing, and I do like that a lot. Where it's like you pop the figure off the page and then put the lettering behind it.
Right.
Really cool.
Sometimes it just looks too awkward. Like the ZZs, the one right by the tire. I'm not super hot on the little ZZ effects that he put on there.
Okay.
So if you can,
was that in the script? Or
that's in the script, but
okay.
It might not work the way it is there. I may have them change it. Maybe it's just the color. I don't know what it is, but this is not necessarily the final since we are, went through the campaign.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so, wow, look at this, huh? How many pages have you put up here? 4 pages. So you got a nice little taste. While you're doing this, I had to show this to a few different other people too, because I've got a new couple stretch goals that I haven't even really announced very. Oh, publicly. Really? Yeah, I definitely want to hear about those.
Yeah, so I'm working on getting a guy to do a mixtape to listen to while you read.
Oh, cool.
Which some people have done before, but this is cyberpunk, so it's almost like not that it's necessary, but
yeah, you need it.
Yeah, it feels.
I really like how he did this stuff, like the computer readouts.
And there's a lot more to in this book. There's a lot of kind of telekinetic conversations, and so he's going to have the work cut out for him to make that work.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. The lettering challenge is a challenge in all itself.
No, it looks good. It'd be interesting if you put up pages of like what you did. I'd like to see what.
I totally probably could find them and share them later, but I don't want to take up too much time with like the past stuff. But
that's fun.
I just want to give my piece of my whole lettering experience, where there is a trade-off. You don't get exactly what you want, but at the same time you take one hat off your head.
Yeah, right. Well, and plus, like you're in the phase where you're promoting too, and that's like 50% of your time right now. Maybe even 75%.
Nobody told me that. Yeah, the writing and art and stuff I can pull off, but the campaign on top of that is so hard.
Yeah.
So I was just going to interject and say one of the topics we kind of breached before the show was the choice of crowdfunding platforms. Yeah. So Randall, I know you went with Kickstarter. Joe, you went with Indiegogo. Obviously, Randall, do you want to talk a little bit more about your choice with Kickstarter and your experience with the platform?
It wasn't a choice where I didn't like Indiegogo. When I started the first issue in 2019, Kickstarter to me seemed like it was more of a known name. But that was based on my little knowledge of Indiegogo. So I went with Kickstarter. I think at the time there were a lot of people putting like little extra notes at the top of their campaigns talking about, I guess Kickstarter was in a lot of trouble for either how they were paying people or something. There was some kind of drama over that years ago. So I think that was part of the reason maybe people didn't like it. But the other reason I've heard is that if Kickstarter doesn't take the money up front, so at the end when it's over, then they take money, and there can be cards that bounce, or just lots of different issues, and people end up don't getting their full campaign funds, whereas Indiegogo takes it at the beginning. So I think that's one of the big things that people have an issue with, is that they
didn't know money. That. So they don't pull out the money until the very end on Kickstarter?
They don't pull it out until it's over.
Yeah, and that's why I ultimately went with Indiegogo, because I've used both platforms now. I did 2 Kickstarters and 1 Indiegogo, and on both Kickstarters, I lost money at the end of the campaign because it 3 weeks after someone pledged to the campaign, all of a sudden their credit card is not good when it goes to charge.
Yeah, that feels odd because it's kind of an impulse buy. That's the whole point. It's like you see it and you're like, there's a million books, there's a million TV shows, there's a million other medias that you can buy. Your goal is to sell them immediately. And so when they don't take out the money right away, like it forces you to second guess it almost.
Yeah, and it's like, I have the money now, but 3 weeks I'm not going to have that money, you know?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, and like I probably lost.
They could always drop the bid too, you know, if it doesn't charge.
That happens too, but like I think I've lost the first campaign. I lost about $40, which not crazy. Second one, it was about 30, I think, or 20, something like that. But still, it's like lost funds, you know. And if you're right at your goal, you know, I find you always need more than what your goal is. You know what I mean? No matter what, because you find like other costs that come up, and you know,
Kickstarter takes a percentage. I assume Indiegogo does as well.
Yeah, I think that's comparable from what I've heard. Is the fees are very comparable.
What's the perks of Kickstarter? Do you think, Randall?
I think I think what he said earlier was the
name recognition.
Name recognition bigger than Indiegogo.
I don't know what Indiegogo offers behind the scenes, like extra, you know, perks or, you know, things to help you. You know, issues I have with Kickstarter just from a usability standpoint is being able to set up the rewards. And if you want to go back and change the name of a reward, you can't edit it. You just have to create a new one. You know, if you look through my campaign, I've got like 60 rewards because I've changed the names of them or I've decided something different. And then you got to go through this list. I mean, it's you know, not a huge deal, but just little things that make it take longer for me to create a campaign. They have I don't know how long it's been in there. They have like a beta version of add-ons, so you can bid on or pledge on your tiers, but then you can also have a bunch of add-ons you can add. You can add a pin or whatever for $5, $2. I haven't tried that yet. I don't know if Indiegogo has like an add-on section.
They do, and actually, I think that's very helpful because I use that for my Mighty Mascots campaign, and I got a lot of add-on sales from it because people would buy the three. This would work good with you, Randall, if you did like you know, like stickers or pins or anything else that you want to add on at the end. Like, because I'm assuming people that came back might already have the first issue, but you know, you could offer that as a add-on to, you know, if you buy 2, you can add on number 1, you know.
I was going to ask Randall, did you go to crowdfunding for the first issue as well?
Yeah, it was on Kickstarter in 2019.
And is there anything you learned between issue 1 and 2?
Not anything I learned from Kickstarter. I learned how to cross promote and how to just, you know, build a bigger audience before I did it. You know, when I came into the first book pretty blind to the whole thing, you know, I wrote a book, I found a great artist, we're a great team, let's make it. And, you know, and it's obviously not that easy. I think, I got very lucky with the first one because my family, they knew this has been a dream for a long time. They put in quite a bit of money and, you know, a lot of friends and then I was able to get, you know, kind of try to get like a marketing plan out there, which I just wasn't prepared for. So, and I think if it was another situation, my first Kickstarter probably would have failed. Then I would have been left trying to decide, okay, what I do wrong, but it worked. I think I got pretty lucky. And now coming into the second one, I found people to cross promote with, and I've got a bigger Twitter audience and a bigger Facebook audience, and I'm getting on podcasts and I'm doing Facebook Live, and I'm trying to learn and be a marketer. This is my first ever interview for the books.
Really?
Wow.
I'm not
honored that you came on our show.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
You're doing really well for first time.
I appreciate it.
You're great.
Definitely have the butterflies coming into this, but you know.
No, you're fine. This is great.
I remember, well, we were talking on email, and he's like, "What is your show? Like, what am I going to do?
What are we going to talk about?"
You know, like it was like an ambush journalism over here, you know.
Spotlight.
Where were you the night of the 5th?
Yeah, this is just a fun hangout, especially these guys.
Yeah, definitely. And we love to talk comics and talk the campaigns. And one other thing that I think Indiegogo has over Kickstarter, although I hear this is coming with Kickstarter, is the in-demand option after the campaign's over. I love that because to me, that's having like, so with Indiegogo, you have a 30-day or 60-day window to raise your funds. If you hit your goal, you have the option to put your campaign into what they call in demand, and you can keep it open and continue to collect money up until the point.
Oh, wow.
I think, what is it, Joe? It's like 6 months, or
yeah, it becomes like a storefront for like 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you can keep collecting money up until you're ready to print the book and send it out. And then some people keep it open even after that. Like,
yeah, they'll just reopen it, because it's just pretty much like a free website for you to like have a storefront.
Digital storefront, yeah, right?
Yeah. So I heard Kickstarter is going to do something like that, but I don't think it's in effect yet.
Does it cost you more from Indiegogo to leave it in for 6 months?
No, it's just the fees, and then
you got the fees. It's not going to be as profitable if you do it on your own website, or the opposite, whatever just said. But the big thing is you have to be funded, obviously, to do it. So you have to get to that benchmark.
Yeah, what Zaid Studios is saying is true. Like the add-ons, to customize the package. I think that's awesome. Like, say you want a T-shirt, but you know what I mean? Or you just want a sticker with your book. I think that stuff's great. I did that with my last campaign, and it's a little more of a headache, but it's worth it.
You got to strike while the iron's hot, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to drive people after they've made a purchase through Kickstarter to your own website for add-ons or anything like that is a surefire. You're just going to have a drop-off. But, I'd rather pay a little bit more, give it to Kickstarter, and then, possibly get a bunch of good add-ons directly right through their page and their site.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Before we go on, we should say hello to the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Rolling with us tonight.
Let's see what it is, Roland.
My wife, as always.
What it is, Amy.
Sebastian's with us.
Sebastian.
Oh, man. We got guest. Stephanie Rozzell. I imagine that's
my sister. Yeah.
That's your sister? Okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Steph. My friend. The right place to order a pizza.
Yeah, I need a margarita with extra mozzarella.
Yeah, right. And then Zaid Studios joining us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's mentioning our Art Bro stream, which we just did. We do it on Wednesdays at 7 to 8. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. I want to come on your show when I start.
Dude,
next.
You know what? I almost bought all the Mighty Mascots, but I think maybe the first one was sold out on Alterna or something.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was. Either that or like it gave me like a weird message or something. I tried and I was like, I'm not going to wait. I'll wait till I can get them all. So
he's I think there's more coming. I think he ordered a bunch with the last Alterna campaign, so it's definitely coming at some point.
Cool.
Or I'm looking to maybe do my next Indiegogo in the summer sometime. I think I'm going to definitely be offering all 6 issues previous too. So hopefully, along with the new stuff. So hopefully, we'll see.
I'm excited.
See how everything comes together.
It looks like Ara's in the chat as well. Hey, Ara.
Yeah, I saw Ara here.
And
Ara's
it looks like the sister says Mom and Dad are watching.
Great.
So big shout out to Mom and Dad.
The Rozzell family is in the house.
Thank you for being a supportive parent.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, because I've been doing this show for a year, and I don't think either of my parents have tuned in once. So, so there you go.
My folks don't get it. They're too blue collar. They don't understand
creativity
or creativeness or anything like that. Being creative is making.
Like, there's Keith. He draws his little. He's a little.
He does the little cartoons, and they're very nice.
Johnny knows. He's got.
Says everybody's great aunt ever.
Awesome. So I mean, I think out of what we were just talking about with the two formats, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, I mean, I think we've hit all the pluses and minuses of it. I think the other thing I don't like about Kickstarter is because it is so big now. I feel like you get lost over there. If someone just wanted to scroll through and look at projects.
Well, how do you guys feel about some of the higher tier publishers going to Kickstarter? I know that's kind of a little bit of a hot topic. Some people are for it. Some people are against it. What do you guys think about that? There was Keanu Reeves' Berserker project.
Right.
I don't think it draws away from the indie guys. If anything, I'm on the camp of it brings more eyes to the platform. I don't think, like, most people I told Indiegogo, they're like, well, what's Indiegogo? And so if maybe they have a chance of seeing, Keanu's book go to Indiegogo, maybe they see another comic that is not so well known. I take that optimistic approach rather than the zero sum game kind of approach where, they're pulling your sales. Because I think they're going to support the book through the crowdfunding. And then afterward, when they publish it with something else, that'll come second. Hopefully that's what they're going to do. Everything, the crowdfunding first, then the publishing.
How about you, Randall? What do you think on it?
I'm on both sides. I see Joe's point. If they're coming because Keanu Reeves brought him in, or I know Scott Snyder has a book on Kickstarter, Nocturna, definitely brings more people in. But then, what did Berserker made? It made a couple 100,000 or 5. I don't know what it made. It was a lot of money. So then my concern is if, someone comes in and spends $100 on Berserker, they may not spend money on me.
Right.
True.
So I think there's two sides to it.
Speaking of Berserker, I don't know if I can. I'm going to say it anyways. I think I am going to be the letterer on Beardzerker.
No way! Yeah, nice.
The Don Chin parody of Berserker coming up.
That's awesome.
Awesome. That's going to be great. I can't wait to read that one.
Yeah, you heard the whole thing, how his beard gets longer by the issue.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
Dude,
awesome.
And he's got great people joining that book too.
I can't.
Big
wait.
names.
I think he's going to have honestly a bigger success with that than the X-Files stuff.
I know, which is cool. I'm glad he's starting a new. Dude, that's like the best idea ever. Like, take the biggest sensation of crowdfunding and do a parody on it.
Do a parody of it, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's great about Don. He finds that niche,
Yeah, he's a legend, that dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. You know Don Chin, Randall? He's he's
I didn't know him. I didn't know him before I saw one of your recent interviews where you, I think he was in your chat and you mentioned the name of his book, which I'm drawing a blank on right now.
It wouldn't be an episode if he wasn't name dropped at least once.
Yeah, right. But he's usually in the chat too. I don't see him tonight. Maybe he'll pop in, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I don't care.
It's out there now. You can't take it back. You can't unring that bell, Keith.
I know. Right? Awesome. So I don't know what else can you guys tell us about your campaigns? Is there any? Let's get into stretch goals and stuff like that. Like Randall, what do you have now that you hit your goal? It looks like you're about 1,000 over. Do you have any stretch goals planned?
Yeah, I've already.
Can you bring up the? I haven't seen the campaign. Can you bring up the page?
let me bring it up.
If you don't have the link, I can give it to you, Keith.
I got it right here. I'm just fumbling here.
Now I'm just thinking of the old issue, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what the new one's looking like.
Yeah, the cover's great. I really thought that was.
I backed right before we started the broadcast. Just having read that first issue, I loved it so much.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I saw your pledge come in right before we started the video. I appreciate that, Johnny.
Yeah, I like having this. So I read it digitally, and I don't mind doing that, but I really love having the physical copy. I'm all about having something tangible in my hands as I read it,
Yes. When we hit, I put in a few stretch goals to get us to the goal. I put in a 6x9 postcard that I designed. So a few of the covers and a few of the designs are for me because I have a design background. I'm just not a good enough illustrator to hold down a 24 or 32 page book.
Gotcha.
Just how big is this book? The second issue?
Well, it depends on if we hit 3,500. Right now it's at 36 pages. Issue 2 is now. When we hit 3,500, which is going to be in another, $46, I'm going to add an 8-page backup story.
Awesome.
That's my latest stretch goal. I've got a story written that shows how Knox and Summers met. That's the two main characters. And also it's going to show a different aspect to Knox's powers. I'm going to expand on that some. but that'll make it 44 pages.
Oh wow! And what's the price to get in on just like a physical copy of the book?
If you want one
$10, that's really good.
Yeah, that if you just want issue 2, it's 10. There's a couple 10s, a 15 for the Exorcist cover. If you want 1 and 2 physical, it's $20.
Yeah, that's really cheap, man. You right off the bat, you could get that up or not.
You think so?
Yeah, just off of what I've seen and what I'm pricing it at, which is based off of whatever thing else I've seen. I'm doing 16 I'm only 32 pages and 16, but at the same time, everybody's got their own like preference, like try to get more quantity, more people coming in, or you're trying to get, the most, I guess, a perceived value. The higher it is, the more you think it's worth that much. So both the covers are worth 16 a piece, and that's physical.
Got it.
Yeah.
And how many pages, Joe?
32.
32.
So,
okay.
That's one thing I did notice is that it's a beefy book, and that's kind of awesome. So most of these books are like 22 or less. And you're spending $10 on them on most Kickstarters. Like this is a nice beefy book. It looks like
it stands out for sure, Randall. So
I appreciate it. Yeah. I struggled with that. I mean, my original Kickstarter goal was 3,500, and I got to 3,800. But again, that was with some big goal or big pledges from my family. I wasn't counting on that this time, so I went 2,500. And
look at how well you did.
I'm almost at 35. So
that's awesome. But
that means you've
somebody.
had. Yeah, right. And you've had growth between issue 1 and 2, which is even better.
Huge. It's really about the backers too. You got 82 backers. That's a lot, man. And this is the way I look at it is like the higher you can make the average buyer, the better. Like if you had just another couple bucks, maybe it was $12, you'd be 20% higher than what you're at just because you priced it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's definitely good information for my 3rd issue for sure.
Right.
We had said, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I agree with everything Joe said. I think, now that you started on this, did you do the same pricing on the first one as well?
I believe so. Yeah, it was very similar. Like I didn't, with the first issue, I didn't already have a previous issue that I could bundle. It was just one book. So in this one, I could have an individual
bundle,
individual PDFs, 2 PDFs, 2 books, 1 book. I could do a little more.
Yeah, and now with 3, you could do a little more too, and do like a 3 issue bundle and things like that. Variant covers, all that stuff. You could help out.
So you don't have a trailer, or is it just not popping up? Is that the?
I have it right. Yeah,
I played through. Okay.
Yeah, I played it.
We played it at the intro.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was actually really good. I liked it.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind playing it again though.
You could play it. You could play it again.
Yeah,
sure.
let's do it.
It's got a nice soundtrack.
Trailer.
Let's do it.
Roll that footage.
No sound for me.
Audio.
Oh, hang on.
You gotta
back it up. Rewind.
Yeah, you have to reshare your screen.
Yeah, let me reshare it. I think the second time I brought it in.
Tell Soups to fly around the world for a few minutes so we can back things up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, hang on.
Happens to the best of us.
Yep.
This is probably the number one thing with StreamYard. It should there should be like an extra.
Be included.
It should come up with like an automatic. Do you want audio on afterwards?
If it was really intuitive, you would preload all your YouTube links and you can just fire off a button.
Right. Yep. Maybe eventually.
That would be like a true radio format. But
yeah. Very cool.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you
Give me
did you
more
make
of
that
that.
one, Randall, or did you
No,
pay somebody to make that for you?
Yeah, no, I found a really good video guy on Fiverr.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
nice.
To put it together for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really well done. It looks great. And you know, everyone out there that's watching, I've read number 1 and I loved it. So there's a review on the channel. If you go back into our videos, you can find the review I did from like 2 months ago
Cool.
and just talked about it and everything.
So
Go ahead, Johnny. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say the title's obviously the character, but where'd you come up with the name?
I couldn't tell you anything specific about the name. I'm big on names. I have a list of names that I've come up with off the top of my head, combination of names, demon names, whatever. And Whitaker Knox, it just I don't know. I think I had Knox first, and I was trying to think of a first name, and because I call him Knox, I don't really use Whitaker in the book.
Right.
And it just clicked for me. I love the name. When I originally, again, I've been working on it for 10 years. When I originally was putting it together and was trying different aspects, the original name was The Converging Worlds of Whitaker Knox. I did the logo, and I tried so many different variations. I tried to encapsulate all those words, and I wanted it to be bold and kind of dark, and having that full title just didn't work for me in the logo.
So did I catch that right? You said it was called Convergent Worlds?
The Converging Worlds of Whitaker Knox.
Is that like a multiverse kind of thing, or?
Yeah.
I like that.
Johnny always picks up like the little Easter eggs. And
Yeah, you're gonna,
I love that. I'll pick it all apart.
yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. I better do a good job then, right?
Yeah,
no. It was so far. It was great. I loved it. Like I said, I read issue 1 a little bit rushed, but so I didn't get to take all my nice detailed notes. But I just love this story. I'm going to be looking forward to getting the Kickstarter rewards and reading those physicals and get a little bit deeper then.
Definitely.
Randall, like, any plans for the 4 issues once you're done publishing them? Are you gonna shop them around to anybody?
I don't have any set plans. I talked with. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I got set up on a phone call with a gentleman that used to work for Boom Studios and Dabble Brothers. A couple of different. Wes, I think
they've done some horror stuff and like sci-fi kind of thing. I could see that working with them.
It was mainly just kind of someone in the industry to talk to, more or less, because I was I just finished issue 1 and was trying to figure out I didn't know really what to do with it, honestly, besides continue with the Kickstarters, and I wasn't ready to I think Drive Through Comics came up in conversation with someone else, and I wasn't really ready to kind of hand it off to someone and just make a percentage of the money. It's kind of it's my baby. I wanted to keep it for a while and just see where things go. And he was telling me, get the 4 issues in the can, and we can talk about distribution. Maybe I can get you in Diamond. Maybe we can do these things. So I don't know if I'll come to that. It might be a Comixology thing. I don't have concrete plans.
It's interesting because, I feel like with enough, you have enough, seems like you have enough, momentum to, just do crowdfunding as the end goal,
Right.
That's what I was going to say too, Randall. I mean, like right now you look at it, you have 82 fans, backing you already, and that number will just grow as you continue to do Kickstarters. And, and the great thing about, crowdfunding that I'm coming around to is that these are legit, these books are going to somebody, somebody's buying these and reading them. Whereas you could send 82 copies of a book to your local comic store, but you don't know, will even 10 of those sell to somebody? You know what I mean? So it's like, this is like real data, like this is real fans, so that's what's really cool about it.
I agree. Yeah, and I think I'm close to doubling my backer count from the first book. I might be 10 away from doubling. I think I had around 50. So I'm heading up to 100. If I hit 100, I'll double what I had from the first book.
So that's fantastic, and this is without a whole lot of you're not streaming really, right?
No.
So this, you're making these numbers with magic almost. So with streaming, with a bigger I guess plan. The only way it worked for me getting funded was the community, and just Yeah, just talking to a lot of people and, talking to Keith and like being on a million streams all the time.
Okay.
Joe, one thing you did really well was the pre-prep. I think like you were talking about this book, maybe 6 months before you launched the campaign?
I used the full time that's another point of Indiegogo. Indiegogo gives you the pre-campaign page, which gives you the sign up for the mailing list.
Yeah.
So I built up, my numbers were 300 signups through email. And then I could tell with some of the traffic, how many people were actually going to the site and looking at it. So that was like maybe 2,000 people went to go do that without signing up. So that's still good. They still have seen it.
Yeah.
And then
it's awareness.
Right. So I don't want to like dawdle on like what I did right. It was more like, this is cool that you're doing it without even maybe having a full plan,
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, my plan's gotten better, but yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I definitely haven't hit the podcast until tonight. That's probably a mistake I've made, but something I definitely want to grow on. I'm not,
you're a good talker too, so I think you'd be fine on like shows and everything. Like,
you should come on mine.
We have to pull answers out of, and you're not one of them. So that's a plus,
That's
so
good.
like I think if you just throw feelers out there, I'm finding, like Joe said, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I think there's a lot of shows you can jump on, and
just ask, and that's the only thing you can do, is ask, and if let's just say you can't get somebody to notice you, maybe the best next way to do it is to ask somebody you do, like me or Keith, and see if I know them and give you the connect. That's the only thing you really can do.
And try to get out there more. And I think Joe's right, Randall. If you put in a little more, just even like a fraction of marketing more, doing interviews and stuff, I think you'd see a big difference in your numbers too.
Yeah.
But people finding it and just on Kickstarter and everything, it's connecting with people. It's a good book. It definitely, like I said, it should be at like IDW or Dark Horse or something. It definitely
I think
is that level.
That was what grabbed, I think, a few people, because I was putting up, and it's on the Kickstarter. I think I have your quote. If you go past the covers, like the initial story, I have two. That's who I got a testimonial from Wes. Yeah, I've got the testimonial from Wes that I was talking about, and then one of your quotes. You said it seems like something that could come from Dark Horse or Image, and I think that grabbed some attention from people.
Cool.
That helped a lot. Yeah.
It feels like it would be at home at Source Point too. It kind of feels a little bit like a Source Point title.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Anyone that does like exceptional like horror stories, IDW or like a Image, I could see it working too, but like an Image seems to be more sci-fi and fantasy stuff now.
Yeah, true.
But Joe, I wanted to ask you too. I asked Randall if he had plans for like after the 4 issues are done. Do you have plans to pitch it to anywhere or do anything with it after the 8 issues are done?
Not really. That was my old plan. That's why I wrote this to be 32 pages and not something more trade back length. Because I thought that's what I was going to do. And I had an agent and I had things all set up to do that. And the more I heard about it, like it sounded like I was going to make pennies with doing it the normal way. And that's what most people do say. Like even if you do hit Image, you have to make so much sales and do your own marketing to like really make all the money. Why not? If you're going to put that time and energy into marketing, why not just keep it as a crowd fund? You keep all the money or nearly all the money,
right?
And
that's legit fans, like I was saying to Randall earlier. Like that's real people buying the book and reading the book, versus
real is nice.
But I won't deny like something like what Clint Stoker did with Downcast and going to Alterna. That I wouldn't deny that. I think if Pete suggested it and said he thought the first issue was cool enough, that he would publish the first issue until the next one comes out, I would be okay with that, but I'm not going to go out of my way and go beg Image to put on their label. It makes no sense to me.
I mean, like my experiences with Alterna has been really good, so I think that's a great route to go down if you make your money up front with the campaign, and then like have that as like a secondary kind of income.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it would be great. And I think it's good enough that Pete might consider picking it up. So it might be an option.
It might be down the road. Once we'll see what happens when the reception happens. You know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like. And how far are you into the rest of the series? Like,
not like I would say not very far because I haven't done any of the art, but everything's outlined. The second issue's somewhat written, you know.
Okay. So you could kind of really, if you wanted to, you could launch into it right after.
Yeah, I could. I'd have to do some. I'd want to put some heavy work into like making sure like the art and everything is like really bang out stuff. But besides that, I have no other obligations really. Well, actually, I do kind of because I picked up an in-between book. So while I'm doing this campaign, I'm working on another book called The Left Hand Free. It's kind of like Avatar: The Airbender meets Cyberpunk, kind of.
Okay.
And
is that on Indiegogo or
not yet? No, it's not even announced yet. But I did all the character designs already, and I'm starting it's only like a 17-page book for some reason, but that's what I'm doing in between just to get freshened up. As far as just art, somebody else wrote it. But yeah, that's my plan. And then whenever Star Circuit is on its way, I'll probably keep it in demand as long as people are buying and just jump into the Star Circuit 2, which I say 2, but it might be just a combination of 2, 3, and 4, like you are doing with, Mighty Mascots. But I'll just call it Chapter 2.
Yeah. No, that's great. What were you gonna say, Johnny?
I didn't mean to switch. I was gonna parlay to Randall real quick. I was gonna say, Randall, creatively, what does the future look like for you? Are there stories that you're looking to tell that you haven't had a chance to yet?
You're talking about Whitaker Knox or just anything?
In general, even just creatively in general.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got a ton of ideas. My prior to writing this, when I was younger, I wanted to draw books, and that's what took me to art school. But I went to the graphic design side, and I'm a web designer. That's what I've been doing for 20 years. But once I realized I didn't have the skills to draw a book, I went to the writing side, and I've got. Probably like most writers, Joe and Keith and Johnny, you might all have the same thing. I have a lot of things written that are half finished, or the ideas aren't quite complete. And Whitaker Knox is the first one that I fell in love with, and it came together. There are other books that I could start once I'm done with this. I see a lot of people on Kickstarter, friends that I've met, that have more than one book running either at the same time or right after they'll start a new series. And
it's almost too much.
Yeah, I'm not ready to do that.
Hard to juggle multiple books.
It's too much to juggle for me.
Well, plus, yeah, and like I think all of us have day jobs, right? Where it's like you kind of like you got to juggle that time to like. Well, you got to find that balance between creating the book and then promoting it and doing the Kickstarter and busy work. So it's all.
I was gonna say, like, most of us are, self-published independent creatives. It's like we only if we could exist only on this, That's kind of the dream, right? But for now, it's like, okay, I do this, but this is what I'll, what else this is what else I do,
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and then
plus
Joe,
I was going to say, plus you continue on with the sequels, you're going to probably pick up more backers, just like you doubled your backers. Probably between 1 and 2. I think that's the minimum. I think you're going to minimal from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. You're going to double and double and double until the point where your first day is whatever. It's so big that it was your end goal before.
Yeah.
Right. And this in Kickstarters and Indiegogos, it's like from what I've been hearing is doing doing what Diamond is not doing. Like so. You're doubling your numbers, whereas Diamond is like killing. Like, you have this huge first issue come out of the gate, and then you start losing readers as issues go on. It's like, why is that happening? Because they don't offer the early issues. Like, someone wants to get into it, they see that it's on issue 4, but they can't get 3, 2, and 1. You know what I mean? So it's like you lose that sale. Like
that's the brilliance of Alterna's like online whatever too. You get whatever
definitely.
you want, you get.
It's always in print, or
Yeah.
or you can get the giant issues and get caught right up, So it's like, yeah, definitely. So it's like, I think that's why I'm thinking crowdfunding is the way to go.
Plus, you got to do weird things that don't really relate to comics, and all it takes is just a little bit of open-mindedness. You need that guy in your team that's like a little wacky, that suggests, why don't you, whatever. Let like I got a guy that here's kind of a little tangent of it, which is I have like a guy modeling the 3D bike from Star Circuit, so it probably will become a 3D print in the second 30 days of the campaign. And that's just that's just a guy that wants to promote his 3D printing business and sees the IP that he could tie it to. And he's willing to just, I'm pretty much going to pay him cost plus a little bit extra to cover, whatever the, the problems that can occur. But anyway, like that's something I wouldn't really want to do, but someone suggested it. And I was like, oh, maybe that would work. A toy is not really how I want to go. I know I don't want to be McFarlane. So, but everybody's got their own endeavors. If a toy is not for you, maybe it's, putting out a novel accompanying the book you put out, or whatever outside the box.
Yeah. Like if you have some kind of weird, like perk, like with me, like with my comic, I'm always trying to like think about like, like what kind of cereal prize that could I kind of.
Do you have a lunchbox? Are you the one with the lunchbox? Is that Don?
It's Don. Don has that.
I'd love to see a 3D model creature from the first issue of Whitaker Knox, the ball of flesh.
Yeah,
I think that would just look cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. You
got
get
a
a statue
desktop
going in that.
toy or paperweight.
Dude, I'm sure there's tons of 3D artists that would love to just sculpt that a little bit.
That's good creature horror right there.
I hadn't thought about that. I actually have a guy lined up that is for my third Kickstarter for the third book. He's going to do pop figures of Knox and the villain. I call him Nocturne.
Cool.
Once this Kickstarter is over, I'm going to reach out to him. He's going to do one of each, just for me to keep and for me to be able to show in the Kickstarter. And then there'll be like a top tier or something in the next Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But
Zaid, I might take you up on that.
Talk to Zaid. He's got some sculpts.
I definitely, what I think would be really cool. My next campaign is like, remember like in cereals they used to offer like those plastic crappy like cereal spoons, like with like the character's head on it or something. I'm thinking of doing something like that for my next campaign. And I think I could definitely nail that with like
that would be fit your IP.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that would be awesome. So we'll talk, Zaid. I definitely want to do that. So, and then Joe, I wanted to circle back because we never get to talk about the stretch goals and stuff that you have coming up. Should I bring up?
Yeah, you can bring that up because there's visuals that can go with it, so it'll make it quicker.
Yeah, let me bring it up. Yeah,
I'm horrible at explaining.
All right, me too. All right, hang on one sec. All right, there we go. All right, so we're
funded. We're at 8,500, I think. So we just hit the second stretch goal. So if you scroll down to probably past the pages. I'm debating putting it higher up because it's getting to that point. There we are.
Here we go. Okay.
Okay. So every one of these, pretty much everybody that backs physically gets it. So this first one's at 6K. It was this postcard called The Legend. And, it's actually double-sided, but I think
Does it have this cool shape too that like it looks like there's like a little card.
No, that's my
just a graphic. Okay.
Right. That's just part of the graphic. But yeah, it's just a postcard. And I already have them printed, so they look great actually.
Awesome.
This is actually, we just in the chat is Zaid, which is this guy here, Tevanop. And that's Zaid Studios in the chat. Yep. So he drew this one. He drew this shot of Atlas on the bike.
Cool.
And so everybody gets that.
Really good.
Yeah. He's like he's pretty much a savant of art. So he does many things, and that's one of them. So
awesome.
We just hit that. So we're
everyone
like 1,500 away.
Oh wow, that's great.
Awesome.
And then extra style pages. That's going to be like your designs and everything like that.
No,
right?
actually, that's just the buffer pages. Kind of like I have this cool idea. You'll see when you read it, but I have this cool idea to have almost like an intro into the world it's almost like world building before you start reading. So it's a little bit of that, a little bit of buffer pages just to make the book feel heftier.
I gotcha. So it's like when you watch a movie and it's like a computer going, "Welcome to 20."
Kind of, yeah, a little
like
bit of that. Yeah,
Gotcha,
that first block of text with on Blade Runner or something. It's like
yeah. Patch. That's a great idea.
Patch. This is the Red Valkyrie convincing me to go for patches.
Now, what's a kanji patch?
Kanji is just the writing in, it's a Japanese or Chinese,
Gotcha. Okay. My white ignorance.
There you go. So that's just the certain title logo. And then the last guy, this is Luis Diaz. He did this drawing that's actually an original I may sell, but it'll be another piece that everyone gets. Now
another print. Okay,
the tricky thing is I might actually slip a couple in there because these are all in even numbers, 12, 14, So I might stick in there at 11, the mixtape where you can listen to this set of tracks along with it. Anyway, I've got other little ones I throw in there just to have some fun. It doesn't cost me anything to like send you an email with some MP3s. So I'm down to do any kind of extras. I know you mentioned like if I had concept art, but that's a totally separate book called Layouts and Design. It's one of the perks you can check out.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, these campaigns are great. I apologize. I haven't backed either of them yet, but I plan on doing both of you guys' campaigns. Probably, Randall, how many days are left on yours?
I got 6 days.
6 days. All right. So I'll get that in before.
Prioritize him.
Stretch goals, Randall?
Yeah. If you go to my page, they're at the top.
Terrific.
Yeah, see, he knows what he's doing.
Very enough. Yeah.
A little bit. All right, so the first one, when we hit 50 backers, you got this 6x9 postcard.
Cool. Awesome.
That's one of my designs. I did that for a preview for the second book.
Very cool. Awesome.
And then you get bookmark, and we hit the goal of 2,500. Bookmark of the cover for issue 2.
Okay, so that's unlocked. I like that picture too.
And
that's
then
the cover, right?
Yeah, cover for issue 2. We hit 3,000 a couple days ago, or maybe within the last week. And there's a great artist that's a friend of mine on Facebook named Neil McClements. These are examples of his work because he hasn't started on the print yet. But once we hit 3,000, all physical backers will get a print from him that's for Whitaker Knoxx.
Oh, wow.
It should be amazing. He's a great artist. We hit 75 backers, and everybody will get this magnet, which is the same design I used for some stickers in one of the tiers.
Did we hit that? Did you hit 75 backers?
Yeah, I'm at 82. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's
great.
That's
awesome.
And then we're $46 away from hitting the 3,500 mark, which means this 8-page backstory will be added.
Awesome. Great.
Is that 8-pager done already, or is that
no? Those images are from actual pages from book 2, just to give an example. But no, it hasn't been drawn yet. It hasn't been created.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Yeah, this is great. And congrats, man, on hitting the campaign. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely awesome.
Especially I'm impressed too, especially without, not having a YouTube channel or, like anything like that, it's great. Like Joe said, magic, right?
Yeah, it's like almost magic. Like you're doing obviously something right that's just different from what we're doing.
I'm really friendly, I guess. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And my wife's been sharing out the links.
It exudes the quality. The quality of the work it puts itself out there, and it's like magnets. It draws people in.
Yeah, I would say
if it's gone up at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it's still the same. Let's see if Star Circuit's jumped.
Oh man, that'll be a
by
surprise.
Any chance. We're at 852. No.
Bummer.
It'll jump right after Keith donates.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Yeah, Joe, because I definitely want to donate to it. Are you going in demand with this?
I'm doing 60 days. So there's 52 days left anyway. But
are you done with it after that, or are you closing?
I don't know. I think depends on this trend. Like if it because it's there's this sometimes it bottoms out. Sometimes it you get little surges, and depending on how I read it, it all depends on what we hit stretch goal wise. It's variable. So if that's the case, I will. If the demand's there, I'll go in demand.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, yeah.
Okay. because I just want to know my timetable. Because, like I said, I keep a whole list of Kickstarters and Indiegogos I want to back, and I tend to back them as their completion date comes up. So, like, it's like stuff goes in demand, and if it's going to be like a year later, I'll kind of wait, a few months before I do it. But if it's something that's going to go like that, I try to jump in on it.
I think don't worry about it. I think I most likely will go in demand, only because I'm slow, and getting book 2 out is going to be longer than what the first one. Not as long, but like it's going to take a good amount of a chunk of time, at least a year. So I think having that time is going to be,
yeah, definitely valuable. Yeah. So last question, and then we'll start to wrap this up. What was I going to say? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought.
You got questions?
Yeah, I had questions. And,
Johnny always got questions.
Yeah, Johnny, you got anything before I try to remember what I was going to say?
Not really. I mean, I just really think that everybody should go ahead and take a moment to back these campaigns.
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
because definitely. It's like, it's not like you can go to a comic book store and find these things. These are, independently produced products. You're connecting directly with the creators. I mean, there's no better way to buy comic books right now, where we can't go to conventions and we can't, shake hands with the creators right after we buy their books. This is the next best step, and, both campaigns have wonderful stretch goals. So, I'd love to see you. And given that, I've backed both of them, I'd love to see those stretch goals get hit. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I have one small announcement
get more
too.
Stuff,
Yeah.
Totally.
I was going to say, I've got one small announcement with my variant cover. I got Steve Furchill. I don't know if you know that guy's name. He's he colors a lot of Dave Finch, and he's a big name. He colored the death metal DC cover where Batman's on this like skeleton bike. I don't know if you've seen that one, but he's colored that one. And because I saw that, I was like, man, he probably could do my cover real well. And he's like a bigger name, so I was like, that's probably where I'm going to go. So that's an announcement that'll be coming free of charge. Obviously, it's not a black and white cover.
And that's going to be a stretch goal. That'll be
no. It's just part of the cover. I got the commission late for the covers.
Gotcha.
It's just late in the game. It'll be just a nice update for everybody.
Awesome. I remembered what my final question is for you guys. How soon from when the campaign ends till when do you think the campaign will get fulfilled? Like when the book will be printed and sent out to the backers. It's always an important thing.
What I have on mine is August of this year.
Okay.
And Silvio's running with a full head of steam. Adding the extra 8 pages will take some time, but I tried to keep that. Hopefully, it's 8 pages. It won't be I'm going to get a different artist for that, so that Silvio can focus on the main book. So August is my plan. I hope that. Last year was definitely a crapshoot on how well things were going to go, and we got slowed down a lot. I'm hoping that this year will be better. So that's the plan.
Yeah, and I find things come up. I think people are really cool with it as long as you keep them in the loop with updates and stuff. So, like even with my campaign, I think I was supposed to have it fulfilled this month, but I'm close. But it's probably not going to be till spring when I start fulfilling things. So. I'm a little behind, but stuff happens.
Yeah, that's kind of how crowdfunding works. To the benefit of the creators, like you have a little bit of leeway, which I will always kind of wait extra time to get the better product, maybe the better bundle, or if it's the art that's holding it up, just better art in general. My book is pretty much done because I just. That's how I worked. I wasn't planning on crowdfunding, so I just made it, so it's made. Yeah. The letters have to be finished like we talked about, but
you'll probably fulfill pretty quick
really quickly, depending on I'm doing editing on the script just with because I didn't get an official editor, so with the funding I'm going to use or that I'm getting from the campaign, I'm getting an editor and then just double checking that and then getting the letters done. So I have marked down at June, but it could be as early as April, May. We'll see.
Awesome. Get on, Randall. What does that mean?
I think they probably want you for the show. Is that what it is, Joe?
Yeah. I
I
was saying like you can come on Art Bros, which we do, like I said, 7:00 on Wednesday. So we'll be glad to take you, Randall, if you want to promote.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hook me up for sure. Maybe I'll spread some of the magic to you.
That'd be great. I'll.
That's great. So go ahead.
We're getting a little bigger now, so I got to put you in the schedule, but we'll talk about it.
That's fine. Yeah. No, it doesn't have to be during the Kickstarter. There's only 6 days, but yeah, just to come on to talk to folks once. It's something you mentioned earlier. Once we finished the first Kickstarter, I built my own site, whitakerknox.com, to sell issue 1, and only I've gotten a few people, some friends, and it definitely is not like a Kickstarter. People don't seem to trust it as much because it's not. A known.
Yeah, it's like a random entity. Site. They don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely.
I think
I get that. So I have the same thing with me. So so before we wrap it up, so if people out there watching, I'll start with Joe. Just give us a quick, elevator pitch for Star Circuit.
Oh, yeah. So Star Circuit's a cyberpunk racing adventure. It's kind of more like a cyberpunk fantasy rather than a science fiction story. It's very character-based personal story with a lot of racing, a lot of sci-fi elements, cyberpunk elements. So in this story, we follow a arrogant and kind of damaged street racer that gets convinced he can win against the best racers in this world, which are androids. Pretty much everything in this world is kind of taken over by androids, not in a bad way, but just they're more skilled than humans. So in this world, he goes and tries to take on these androids with the help of like this long forgotten racing legend. And through that, he kind of not only can inspire his world, because it's kind of gone complacent, but also save what's left of his broken family, which is kind of torn apart by tragedy. So it's a mix of things, but it's a blast.
Awesome. That's great. And then Randall, can you give us like a quick elevator pitch for Whitaker Knoxx?
Yes, definitely. So Whitaker Knoxx, I call him the detective for the dead. He's cursed with the ability to visit the recently departed and see their last moments of life. This image shows the what I call the third eye sigil is on his hand. It allows him to basically connect and see the echo of someone's life. But during the course of the first issue, he's pulled into a very unusual crime scene where he finds his own dead body. So, what does someone do when they can visit with the dead and then they find their own body?
That's a great hook.
You know the answer there, but unfortunately, that's going to just totally send him through hell in a sense. So issue 2 picks up after those events, and it actually takes place a year later. I told a lot of my friends and different people that have come on the Kickstarter that I don't tell a story where the hero just kind of stands up and dusts himself off and says, "All right, let's go beat the bad guy." He's really foobarred in the second issue, and then it, like I said, towards the end, it's going to take a sci-fi twist. I introduce a new character named Kay that promises to right what has gone wrong, but it's not going to be that easy. So,
gotcha. I'm intrigued. Definitely intrigued after reading number 1. So that's great. So definitely anybody out there watching, take a look at both campaigns. The links are in the chat. I'll also put them in the description of the video as well. If you like what you see, definitely back these guys, support indie comics. Randall has 6 days left on his Kickstarter. So if you like issue 1's available on there as well, you said, right?
Issue 1 and 2. Yep.
Yeah. So get in on the ground floor, get both issues. And then Star Circuit, Joe's, this is the first issue for Joe. So
it's a mini series as well.
It's an 8 issue, right? 8 issues.
Yeah, it depends on how I group them, but yeah, it's going to be essentially that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. And get in on the ground floor, and as Joe said, the issue's done. Yeah. So this will fulfill really quick. You'll probably have it by the springtime.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be great. And I've got a lot of extra little perks there too if you want original art.
Yeah,
so
take
on
advantage. Both campaigns, there's already a bunch of stretch goals unlocked, so you're gonna be getting a lot of bonus stuff on top of that, which is awesome. Johnny, anything that you want to wrap up with tonight? Any plugs? Anything people should be checking out?
First, I just want to thank Randall and Joe for coming on tonight. Thank you again, guys, for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the rewards from the Kickstarters coming in. I can't wait to get physical copies. For everybody else, definitely check these guys out. Follow their socials. Follow my social, Twitter at JohnnyC138. If you're on Facebook, don't forget to check out Movie Preview Show. We were talking about Paramount Plus dropping their premium movies, as well as the new Spider-Man title, Spider-Man No Way Home. That was pretty exciting.
Yep.
And also a big shout out to Joseph Arnold, illustrator on Sartana. Happy birthday, man.
Oh, nice. Now, is he the guy that illustrated the images in the trailer at the beginning of the show?
Yep, that's Joe Arnold's artwork.
Awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. That's great. And then for me, not much new. I am finishing up issue 6 of Mighty Mascots, so that's almost in the can. As soon as that's in the can, we'll be going to print, and then I'll start fulfilling the campaign there. The other announcement that I'll be lettering Beard Zerker whenever that happens, and then so I'm looking forward to it. So
that's amazing.
I know, I can't wait. I it's like it's a really cool gig. Like, I don't go chasing lettering gigs, so when it was offered to me, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's one that I would actually consider.
Yeah,
like
right.
that. Like,
I can't wait to see what he does with that property.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. But
for
all
sure.
right,
We spoke of my channel before. I just want to mention. My channel is just my name, Joe Catapano. I always forget to say what my tag is.
Can they search Art Brothers or Art Bros?
You might just Art Bros, 2 words, and you'll probably come up with our,
come up with it.
videos.
And you can link to the channel from there.
Yeah, Art Bros.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, we're gonna wrap up this week. I think we're back next week, Johnny. Do you remember? I don't remember who we got for next week's guest. Do you?
Man, we're all booked up. We're booked up for months.
Dude, I just booked someone for the middle of May. So that's how far ahead we are with the guests. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's great. Well, we're just trying to give people a platform to, put up their stuff out there. So
yeah, definitely sell their wares. So. All right, guys, we'll be back next Wednesday. I think I'm going to be dropping a new comic review this weekend as well. So, that's for another Kickstarter that's going on. So I'll be dropping that this weekend. Check that out. And we'll be back next Wednesday with another live stream. Mm-hmm. So until then, all right, guys, have a great night. And definitely check these guys. Check these guys out on Indiegogo and Kickstarter. And we'll see you next week.
Yep.